watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Entertaining Germantown. I'm Parke Kennedy, and I'll be your host. Entertaining Germantown will help keep you informed about all the exciting arts and entertainment available to our community. We'll talk about what's happening at GPAC and what is happening in the greater Memphis arts and culture scene. On today's show, I'm going to tell you about some events coming up in the month of October. Then I'll chat with ArtsMemphis, Memphis's local arts agency, about the impressive results of a survey measuring the impact of arts and culture on the Shelby County economy. Lastly, GPAC's very own Paul Chandler will unveil plans for an exciting new project that will change the way folks in town think about GPAC and the performing arts. Entertaining Germantown promises to keep you up to date on a wide variety of arts and entertainment opportunities coming up at GPAC and beyond. I'm going to help you plan ahead for fall now, so get your calendars out. First off, make plans to experience the hottest little jazz club around. Jazz in the Box is right here in Germantown at GPAC's Black Box Theater. Seating is cabaret style, and there's a bar where you can get a drink. You'll hear renowned jazz talent up close and personal. There are two shows, 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. On Friday, October 6th, the featured act is Trio Kate. They're an LA-based jazz piano trio known for their modern, tight, groovy sound. Perfect for a date night. Tickets can be purchased from GPAC online or through the box office. Now, if you like food, live music, and the outdoors, but you don't want to go far, then GPAC has just the ticket for you. Except there is no ticket. For a suggested donation of $5, you can hit the GPAC Food Truck and Music Festival. On Sunday, October 15th, GPAC will host the fourth such event. You can bring your kids, your dog, and your lawn chairs. There will be 8 or 9 food trucks, a family-friendly live music lineup, games, bouncies for the kids, and some specially crafted adult beverages. On October 27th, get in costume and head over to the Bob Haley Athletic Complex for a Halloween festival of fun and fright. From 6 to 8, Germantown Community Theater's All Children's Theater presents the Fairy Tale Trail, perfect for the little ones. Things get scarier later when from 7 to 9, Houston High School's student government sets up the Trail of Terror. There will also be concessions, free games, and moon bounces. Tickets for the trails are $4 per person. The rain date is October 28th, and for more information, call Timothy Steiner at 757-7382. For dance aficionados, GPAC is serving up a real treat. On Saturday, October 28th at 8 p.m., GPAC presents Aspen Santa Fe Ballet. With home cities in both Aspen and Santa Fe, this contemporary ballet company is known for its adventurous repertoire, virtuoso dancers, and globally acclaimed choreographers. Tickets are selling fast, so contact the GPAC box office. Now, for classical music fans, joining me is Marcia Kaufmann, IRIS Orchestra's Director of Development, to talk about IRIS's first concert of their 18th season. Thank you for joining me here today, Marcia.
Thank you for inviting me, Parke. It's great to be here.
Well, you're kicking off your 18th season. Tell us about it.
The season has a bit of a subtitle going to it because we're calling it The Next Generation of Classical Music is Here. And it's highlighting the fact that we have a lot of young rising artists as our featured soloists. And we're also bringing back Branford Marsalis. So it should be a really great season.
Well, that sounds exciting. Now there's a young featured guest violinist in your very first concert. Tell us about the first concert.
Our first concert is October 21st and 22nd. Our featured guest is Mayu Kishima, a young Japanese violinist, and the concert is titled From the New World. It is a reference to Dvorak's New World Symphony, which is going to be featured on that program.
Now, I've heard said that Mayu is considered one of the top young violinists in the world.
She is a young lady who has been winning competitions on 2 continents, and her connection to IRIS Orchestra is that she is the winner of this just past season, in Shanghai, the Isaac Stern International Violin Competition, and named in honor of Isaac Stern, our conductor's father. Our conductor's Michael Stern. So
wow.
we connected with her that way, and we're delighted to be bringing her to Germantown.
That's a great connection. IRIS Orchestra has a very unique model. Can you explain it to us?
IRIS Orchestra is a chamber orchestra, which means, first of all, we are more flexible, a little bit more intimate group than your standard orchestra. And we work from a roster of about 190 musicians. So all of these musicians are IRIS Orchestra, but for any given performance, we bring together 45 to 60 of them. So between their schedules, they all have careers all around the nation. And so they let us know their availability. We look at our instrumentation. We put together the group for that concert. And so each concert is a new group of musicians that all are part of the same bigger group. So it's almost like a music festival crossed with a family reunion when they get together for a performance.
So you're bringing them from out of town specifically for this concert. Now, how long are they here?
They are usually here for 4 or 5 days. They, most of them have been coming back to IRIS Orchestra and to Memphis for a number of years. We put them up with host families, and so they have a real connection to the community. They're almost family members. I know some have been staying with the same host family for enough years that their host parents were invited to their weddings, for instance, when they got married in Connecticut or whatever. So it's actually one way that community members can get involved with IRIS Orchestra. You can ask to be a host family and meet a musician, get to know a musician on a first name basis that way.
Wow, it's such a great community connection. So there are events that take place throughout the week while they're here?
They come in, they have a set of rehearsals to prepare the concert. We host a dinner for them so that everybody, after the first rehearsal, gets together and enjoys kind of the collegial renewing of ties. And between the rehearsals and preparing for the concert, a number of them will go out into the schools, both here in Germantown and in Memphis, to take programs to the students and to work with the students on if they're already instrumental players themselves.
Wow, so they have a packed schedule while they're here.
They are busy workers, yes.
So tell us about your ticketing for these events. How does that work?
Well, we are happy to be the resident classical spirit in GPAC, so all of our concerts are at Germantown Performing Arts Center. You can get your tickets through the box office. Just call. The number is 751-7500. Or you can also go to our website, irisorchestra.org. That'll get you into the same ticketing system, but you can buy them online if you'd rather do it that way. And we have concerts, pairs, so Saturday night, and then the same concert is repeated Sunday afternoon, so Saturday at 8 or Sunday at 2.
So you can choose. Now, what about the rest of the season?
We have 5 concert pairs throughout the season, in December, in February, in March and April. February is Branford Marsalis. Wish we could have both. Maybe next time. And there will be an additional surprise concert in February immediately following Branford Marsalis, which I can't tell you about yet. So check the website. There will be more.
So is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Marcia?
Well, it's so much happening at GPAC, a lot of music of all sorts, and IRIS Orchestra is really happy to be one of the things that you can enjoy right here in Germantown.
So tell me a little bit more about your Fellows program.
We have a program which was new last year, IRIS Artist Fellows, young performers who have just finished their studies and are embarking on a professional career. We bring them all sorts of training opportunities. They play as members of IRIS Orchestra, and they spend all the rest of their time in the community working with school kids, working with community groups, and they're very visible all around the community. It's been a very successful program. We're delighted to be continuing it.
And you have a new group of fellows coming in every year.
New group of fellows this year, and I do hope that they can come join you here sometime, because they're a real pleasure to spend time with.
We'd love to have them. And the instruments that they play are?
Violin, viola, and cello. It makes a string trio. There's a fair amount of repertoire for that, and it also has an instrument representative of each of the ones that the students in the orchestras they're teaching are likely to be playing. So it's a great tool. It's portable. There's no piano to have to move around. So it's a nice sized group, and reflects the instruments of the orchestra very well.
It sounds like a fantastic tool. We have to wrap up, but thank you, Marcia, for being here today.
Thank you, Parke.
We have to take a short break. When we come back, Will Murray, Director of Development and Communications for ArtsMemphis, will join us to talk about the newly released results of a study called Arts and Economic Prosperity 5 and its important implications for the Shelby County economy. Please stay with us.
Michael Stern is the music director of IRIS Orchestra and the Kansas City Symphony.
My number one aim is to bring each listener a sense of discovery, a way into the very center of each musical work, to juxtapose those works one to the other in a way that reveals enlightening connections to our audience, and to allow even an experienced concert goer the chance to hear the essence of the music as if for the first time, and hopefully to bring to everyone listening the chance to be touched and changed by the life-affirming and transformational power of these great works of art.
Michael Stern is the music director of IRIS Orchestra of Germantown, Tennessee. Tickets and more information can be found at irisorchestra.org.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Entertaining Germantown. I'm your host, Parke Kennedy, and joining me now is Will Murray, Director of Development and Communications for ArtsMemphis. Will is joining me today to talk about the newly released results of a survey called Arts and Economic Prosperity 5. Thanks for being here, Will.
I'm so glad to be here, Parke. Good to see you.
Good to see you. So it occurred to me that a lot of folks may or may not know that much about ArtsMemphis. So can you kind of give us the ArtsMemphis story?
Absolutely, absolutely. So ArtsMemphis is a United Arts Fund. We are actually one of the largest United Arts funds in the country, and what that means is that we raise money that we then grant back out to local arts groups and individual artists. And I like to say that I have the pleasure of being the person that helps to raise that money, and my colleagues are the ones who have the, I guess, more fun opportunity to grant it back out. But we award about $2.5 million a year to over 60 different arts groups and individual artists.
Wow. So Americans for the Arts brought ArtsMemphis into this study. It's a study that's done every 5 years. This is called AEP 5, and I understand that there are significantly important results.
That's right, Parke. So we were actually we're just one of over 14,000 partners nationwide who are working with Americans for the Arts, the umbrella arts advocacy organization for all arts groups throughout the country. And the Tennessee Arts Commission in Nashville is actually overseeing the statewide survey collection, data collection process. They oversaw that. And throughout 2015, in partnership with regional project contacts like ArtsMemphis, the commission helped to mobilize over 600 different groups throughout Tennessee to collect audience survey data that basically said what people are spending their money on when they go to an arts event. So we were really fortunate to be working with the Tennessee Arts Commission as their kind of hub in West Tennessee.
Okay, wonderful. So that was a lot of work, a year's worth at least. And how many arts organizations did you say were involved?
Well, there were about 14,000 nationally, about 600 plus in Tennessee, and then over 70 just in Shelby County alone. So it was really, really exciting. So it was throughout all of 2015, these folks were going to different arts events and collecting survey data from patrons at the events and finding out, what they were spending their money on when they go to the events, so that we can then say, hey, how much is total spending on arts and culture? How much does that represent in terms of jobs? And what we found was really, really exciting.
All right, the results are in, so tell us what they are.
Okay, so I can stop being as tight-lipped as I've been, because over the last couple of weeks prior to this press conference, I was playing very close to the chest. But the results show that over 6,000 jobs in Shelby County are supported by spending in nonprofit arts. So the nonprofit arts sector represents over 6,000 jobs supported, and that's 200 million in total spending. If you combine the spending by arts organizations themselves and arts patrons, we're talking about nearly $200 million in total spending.
And that's going to generate some government revenue as well.
Huge amount of government revenue, over $20 million in government revenue. And nationally, I think this is actually one of the most interesting things, is the government revenue generated by the arts industry nationally is an order of magnitude larger than the total nationwide public investment in the arts, if you look at what people are spending. So I think it's something like $27.5 billion in revenue generated for state, municipal, and federal government. And total public investment in the arts is only about $5 million if you're looking at the 2015 data. So we're talking about a return on investment of about 550%.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
This is incredibly compelling numbers. So what does this mean then? What are the implications, and what does Americans for the Arts and ArtsMemphis want us to do with this information?
Well, for you and I, we understand that the arts are fundamental for reasons that are beyond just the economics. They can transport us, they can inspire us. The emotional and spiritual value of the arts, the connection from generation to generation, is so important, just profoundly invaluable. But there's a certain group of people for whom the economic calculus is always going to be the be-all and end-all. And for those folks, we want to say, hey, you know what? The arts is more than just a nice-to-have. It is actually a fundamental driver of our economy.
Well, this information will certainly get those folks' attention.
So
We have to wrap up now, but thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much, Parke.
We have to take another short break. To access information about the AEP5 study, the toolkits, and suggested uses, go to www.americansforthearts.org. More entertaining Germantown when we return.
It's all happening at GPAC in the Duncan Williams Performance Hall. Experience dance October 28th at GPAC. Aspen Santa Fe Ballet's bold vision of top global choreographers, distinctively groundbreaking pieces, and virtuoso dancers has fostered a jewel of a dance company. It's happening only at GPAC. For all the details, visit gpacweb.com or call 751-7500.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Thanks for joining us on Entertaining Germantown. Our last guest today has some very exciting news for the whole community. With me here is Paul Chandler, Executive Director of the Germantown Performing Arts Center. Hi, Paul. Thanks for coming today.
Well, thank you for having me, Parke, and congratulations on your inaugural Entertaining Germantown show.
Thank you. Having a lot of fun.
Good.
So I hear you've got some big news. Are you ready to spill the beans?
We do. A little history. GPAC's 23 years old. I've been on and off for 3 different times, and I think our biggest endeavor is to come. in the very, very near future, we are designing and we're going to construct an outdoor venue just to our north in an area that we call the Grove.
Wow. How did this idea come about?
So about 4.5 years ago, I talked to staff and I said, what do y'all do outside? And they were like, not much. So we've been test driving events before big concerts, and then we test drove this food truck and music festival, and it was unbelievable. 3,000 people showed up to an event that had never occurred before, and we said, aha. And the feedback that we got was incredible by all of these people saying, I've never been here before, or this was great, or please do more of this. That, coupled with the ever-growing excitement about outdoor gathering within a community, has driven us to this decision.
So you figured out that if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
And I understand you brought a clip.
We brought a clip.
Being a resident so close and a lover of live music, it's absolutely a total win-win for me and my family and our musical interests and what we want to see here in Germantown.
That's cool. I think that's a good idea. That's so cool. I love going to Levitt Shell, so I think something closer to where I live would be amazing.
Like you said, community. I mean, being out and about, talking to neighbors, I mean, just builds a community, a sense of, intimacy within Germantown.
Whether it's outdoor family stuff like films and such, or whether it's a ticketed event or a non-ticketed event, I think the fact that there's going to be some variety of offerings, I think would be a positive.
I think people love anything where they can just gather and enjoy the summer, enjoy the warm atmosphere. I love food trucks, so stuff like this is amazing.
So every time that there's an event outside in the summertime, yeah, that's always fun. We like to bring the kids out and have a good time.
There's the Levitt Shell that does that, and their audiences are huge. Yeah, I think it'd be great out here.
We would be very excited if we had outside events here in the Germantown area, and we would come.
Oh yeah, we will be here. Most definitely be here.
Impressive. Looks like a lot of energy there out at the GPAC Grove.
So that was a video of one of our most recent food truck festivals, and what you can see there is people of all ages. We had empty nesters and families all rolling around and enjoying music and food and fellowship and community, all under this grove of trees. So it is our intent, which is quite uncommon, to keep as many trees as possible so that we can have this canopy of shade and create a venue unmatched in our region and possibly, gosh, in this part of the country. So it's really, really exciting. We've got great partners within the city of Germantown, and Archimania, our architect, is working on that project.
So there's a design in motion.
That's correct. So Archimania is our architect. They did most well known locally for the new Ballet Memphis building, the Live at the Garden building, the Hattiloo Theater. So their experience in performance and presentation and arts is really beneficial to this project. We've really enjoyed meeting them and working on visioning charrettes that have included our board, a lot of our primary users from the opera to the Memphis Symphony to IRIS and to Ballet Memphis.
So you brought a rendering, I understand.
Yeah, if we can put a rendering up on the screen, I can just highlight a few things on there. So what you'll see is this is a very, very early version. It may change quite a bit until then, but it gives you the general look and feel. Up front towards the stage, you will be able to sit in either chairs or seats that we can set up, theater style, on a hard surface, or you can bring the lawn chairs and picnic blankets and pick your spot up under the trees under the grove, which I've got to tell you is 15 degrees cooler under that tree on any given day.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, what is that giant screen?
So that is our video wall. So our intent is to gain the support that allows us to install a very, very large, high-definition, permanent video wall that we can broadcast movies or concert movies, or we can broadcast what's going on inside of GPAC outside, which is just a game changer for us and a lot of our users.
Yeah, so how do you see this impacting the local arts and culture landscape?
So we've given a lot of thought about this, Park. If we achieve our goal, then this outdoor space will become the audience builder for the indoor space and beyond. What I mean by beyond is we have all these primary users. We have the Memphis Symphony and Opera Memphis and Ballet Memphis and Collage Dance Company and a lot of groups people don't even know about. And so they can broadcast outside also, which then doubles the eyeballs of their performance. And sometimes, you know as well as I do, sometimes people want to get dressed up and go inside and sit down and be comfortable. But then there are some people that just want to go outside and just kind of be loose about it and let the kids run around or have a date night out in the Grove. And we think that's going to be a game changer for all of the arts organizations in our market.
Sounds incredible. So you'll do shows, broadcasts from inside the building to outside, and then other types of shows as well in the Grove. So
sure, we will do movies, concert movies, but also I could see a lot of the great groups around Opera Memphis, Tennessee Shakespeare, maybe using the video wall as a backdrop. And that is just unprecedented in the country.
It's such an exciting project. So the goal for the project is?
The goal for construction, design has already begun.
Right.
The board of directors of GPAC and the city split the design cost. So it's a $4 million project, and we're out raising money right now. We've gotten a great head start, and we will be raising contributions all throughout GPAC's performance season, which, as you know, starts this September.
Well, good luck. It sounds exciting. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank my guests for being here and you for joining us on Entertaining Germantown. If you'd like to watch this or other shows on Germantown Municipal Television, please visit www.gmtvonline.org. To learn more about what's happening at GPAC, go to www.gpacweb.com. Hope you will join us when Entertaining Germantown returns next month.